What's up, boys? NFL week number 2. It's time for my picks and locks of the week. Now, obviously, I missed out last week because I was on a trip for a football game. So I had to put it all listed. So I don't actually remember my record right now, but it's going to be on the screen somewhere. And yeah, so we go right into it. I'm actually in a ESPN Pigskin Pick'em league, and I messed up and I forgot to make this pick here. And now I can't. But I did tweet out, hey buddy, he's making a little cameo here, my bud right here. But I basically messed up. I was gonna pick the Chargers. I did tweet out that I'm picking the Chargers for this week against the Chiefs.
Kansas City Chiefs go to Arizona and win.
It's already on my Twitter, but I gotta make this video. And yeah, he's not leaving me alone. One butt scratches. Yeah. Jets, Browns with Jacoby Brissett. I've always said this. I don't think Jacoby Brissett's a bad quarterback. I don't think he's a great one, but I think he's a good quarterback. Just come in and fill in for your team. And the Jets have it's iffy right now for them because they don't have Zach Wilson, and it sucks. If they had Wilson, I actually probably would pick the Jets, but because the Browns were able to pull off a win against Carolina last week, they have a really good defense still, and Jacoby Brissett's pretty decent. I'm going to pick the Cleveland Browns. Next, we got Washington versus Detroit. Very close on the picks is 49% to 51. Detroit almost pulled off the win against Philadelphia. Yes, Philadelphia would have won regardless. Detroit's made the score look a little bit better, but I think they're still. She's waiting for me to throw something. I think regardless of what you say, I think Detroit was going to lose that game, but they did really, really good. Washington, on the other hand, they should not have won. They should not have won. The Jags just kind of let themselves down. I got Detroit winning this game against the Washington Commanders. Next game, we got Tampa Bay versus the New Orleans Saints. Tampa Bay and the Cowboys. What a boring-ass game it was. And for me as a Dallas fan, it really, really sucks. Seeing that go down. We'll get to that a little bit later. Saints making a comeback against the Atlanta Falcons. Not a hard task to do. A lot of teams have done it before in the past. But they still look really good. James Winston really accurate and actually doing really good. Michael Thomas is back. And yeah, but I'm still going to go with the Buccaneers. I'm still going to favor Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I think they're still going to get the job done. Carolina at the New York Football Giants. Carolina, Baker Mayfield's revenge game got spoiled, and it was unfortunate for Baker Mayfield. The Giants, surprising win against the Tennessee Titans. Field goal miss at the last little bit, and it is unfortunate that happened for me as a Cowboy fan. But Giants still looks pretty good. Everybody's back on the Saquon Barkley train just because he did good in one game. No offense. I always called Barkley a bust. He did do really good in that game, but, you know, I don't think it's going to keep up for that much longer. Maybe if it does, congrats to him. Carolina Panthers, on the other hand, I think they're going to need a win, and I think they're going to get the win. I think Baker Mayfield goes into New York and gets the job done this time with their team. Patriots at the Steelers. I was one of those guys who doubted the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Cincinnati Bengals, and they actually proved really well. They had T.J. Watt out for the whole, or for a few weeks, anyways, and but I think that was the worst game he's ever played in his career, possibly, and they still did really, really good on defense. It's all Mika Fitzpatrick and all of those guys. I think they're going to do very, very, very well. Patriots, I don't know what's going on with Mac Jones, but regardless, I think this is just the year that Patriots do not. They're 0-2. I think Steelers will go 2-0. Pittsburgh, you got a really good coach in Mike Tomlin, and your team's pretty decent. So there's that. Colts, Indianapolis. We don't need to talk about the Colts' record when it comes to having to beat the Jacksonville Jaguars. It's not a good one, especially in Jacksonville. I think Matt Ryan and the Colts get it done. Just hand it off to Jonathan Taylor, throw it to Michael Pittman, do your thing, have the defense get the stop on Trevor Lawrence and the Jags offense. You should be able to walk away with this win, and you should go 1-0-1. So technically, you haven't lost the game yet. Miami and Baltimore. This is going to be a tough game. The Miami Dolphins 1-0. The Baltimore Ravens 1-0. Ravens looked pretty decent, but it was against the Jets, so let's not go overboard. And the Dolphins, beating the New England Patriots, also looking really, really good. 25% to 75%. They're both 1-0. I got a little bit of a sleeper pick here. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins to beat the Baltimore Ravens. I think the Dolphins are just going to do better offensively, and I think they're going to be able to do way better defensively against the Ravens' offense. So I think Lamar Jackson won't get shut down, but I think the Dolphins are going to squeak one out and get a W there. Falcons at the Rams. Both teams 0-1. Surprisingly, don't need to talk about this too much, but let's just say throw it to Allen Robinson, please, and give it to Cam Akers, and you'll win a game, okay? It's not going to be that hard. We don't need to talk much about this. The Falcons blew a game. The Rams looked like shit against the Bills, but I said that was going to happen, and but I think you usually pick up a win against the Falcons. Seattle Seahawks, San Francisco 49ers. Both these teams had shockers last week. Seahawks beating Denver, shocker. San Fran losing to Chicago, bigger of a shocker. And now they're going to be playing each other. Division rivalry game. I think San Francisco bounces back. They go 1-1, and they drop Seattle to 1-1. And everything will be pretty much even up here. So, yeah, I think San Fran easily is able to bounce back and get that W. Next game, Cincinnati at the Dallas Cowboys. You have Dak Prescott injured. They looked like shit against the Buccaneers. Their offense was dog crap, and I'm just going to say that. As a Cowboy fan, I slept through the game in, like, the second half. And it was terrible. The defense held up really, really well, and Micah Parsons is a huge, just a great player. Like, just his mindset's amazing, and I feel bad that he's with us on the Cowboys. He's such a good player. But I don't see Cooper Rush pulling it off. Joe Burrow and the Bengals just lost a huge game last week, so I don't see them losing 2 in a row. I see them bouncing back. They're going to get the dub against the Dallas Cowboys. And they'll go to 1-0 or 1-1, and the Cowboys drop to 0-2 heading into week 3. Next game, Houston Texans at the Denver Broncos. Easy win for the Broncos. I don't think this should be a tough one for you, Denver, and Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos lose this one to Houston. Well, then instead of Houston having a problem, Denver, you got a bigger one because you paid Russell Wilson a lot of money. So I don't even want to talk about what their decision was on the 4th down, because whatever way you put it, if they went for it on 4th down and they didn't get it, you would have just said, hey, why don't you kick the field goal? That's why you have a field goal kicker. So regardless of what you do, if it didn't work, everybody would just say do the other opposite way. But they did fumble like 3 times in the end in the red zone, so it does suck for Denver, and it was a tough loss. But I think they beat the Houston Texans, and they bounced right back. Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders. Raiders took a huge loss, a big loss to the Chargers, but it was still a decent game, even given that Carr threw a lot of interceptions. Cardinals look like dog shit against the Chiefs, and I don't think they can stop any offense. I'm going to go with the Raiders, obviously. This is the first time that Devontae Adams' his grandparents are going to come watch and play an NFL football game. So if I was a betting man, I'd say just take Devontae Adams in everything. Just in everything. Including these. Chicago at the Packers. Bears, huge upset win against the Niners. And the Packers, I said it, the Vikings were going to beat the Packers. Not only did they beat them, they kicked the shit out of Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. I think Packers bounce back, though, in Lambeau Field against Chicago Bears. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has already said multiple times he owns them. And it's kind of true. I think the Packers take it over against the Bears. I think they easily get this win. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Bears actually upset the Packers. I actually would not be surprised. But I think they're going to lose. Titans at the Bills. Bills are just the best team in the NFL, and they're the team to beat. Simple as that, plain and simple. I don't think Tennessee, after what they did against the Giants, they look like shit. I'm going to say Buffalo Bills take it all the way. They look like a well-oiled machine team. And unfortunately for Derrick Henry, there's a new king in town, and his name is Josh Allen. Into the last final Monday night game, it's going to be the Minnesota Vikings against the Philadelphia Eagles. Both teams looked very, very well in their opening game. There's one key difference. The Vikings did it against the Packers, and unfortunately the Eagles only did it against the Lions and somehow almost ended up losing that game. Hurts and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is that team right now. I'm not going to lie on the offensive side. And Hurts, every time he got sacked, he just turned it to a first down the next play. Very, very good team. The Eagles are the team to beat in the NFC East right now. But I think the Vikings easily do it. Justin Jefferson, I think this is Kirk Cousins' MVP year, baby. I don't think he's going to get it. I think Josh Allen's going to get the MVP. But I think Minnesota Vikings get the dub here on Monday Night Football. It is Monday night, so don't expect a good Kirk Cousins, but I think it's enough to get the job done against the Philadelphia Eagles. Those are my picks right there. Unfortunately, I did miss out on the this one, so I'm already 0-1 on here. But if we go look back at week 1, we can go double check. So we got the Bills right, the Saints right, the Niners wrong. So let's see, we're 2-1, 2-2, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 5-3, 5-4. Technically, this was a tie, so 5-5. I was wrong. 6-5, 7-5, 7-6. I forget who I took here. I think I took the Chargers. 7-6, 8-6. I took the Cowboys. 8-7, 8-8. I finished 8-8 last week, I believe. So not the best. But this week, hopefully, it's a little bit better, and we're going to submit the picks after I answer this question right here. But I'll see you guys in the next one. Hope you guys are doing well, and let me know who you guys are thinking will win this week, and let me know how last week went for you guys, because I don't think it went well for a lot of people. Anyways, I'm out, and peace.